What's up, party people? 10, 9, 8. No one's gonna jump in with me. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off, comrades! We're going straight to the moon, baby. It's Jawsbreakers, scary, funny shark movie show. My name's Bret. With me, as always, is temporary co-host. Actually, I'm just a temporary host.
We're both temporary co-hosts.
The actual hosts have finally showed up for their own show.
Good job, guys.
My name's Bret. That one is Jazmin. Jazmin, say hi.
Hi.
What's up with you?
Nothing.
Nothing. So the last time we concluded our last podcast on Shark Huntress, you sat at the computer and patiently waited for the next time to record.
What?
Never mind.
Absolutely. I get what you're saying.
Joining us today.
I get it now.
Also,
work. I've been doing normal human activities.
Thumbs
Fantastic.
up. Yeah, I've been. I mean, if you want to hear what I'm up to, listen to any one of our podcasts on the Pod Dog podcast family of shows. Speaking of which, our patreon.com/poddog, they voted on a movie that we're going to talk about, and joining us for this movie, they're fulfilling their yearly contract as our friends to complete at least one Let's Die, one After Dark Rye, and one Jawsbreakers recording. It's Klayshen and Vinnie of the Watchers of the Stuff podcast. Klayshen and Vin, hi.
They've come to take their rightful place as hosts of this podcast.
Correct. We always have lost the trivia in the latter half of the show, and as such, we've relinquished our podcast duties. So, Jazmin, I think it's only fair that me and you step aside now, and we let them do the show.
Yeah.
The entirety of the rest of the show.
Let's go. All right. Take it away, guys.
Take it away.
I was unprepared. I can't even co-host my own show. I haven't showed up for weeks.
Let's do like 10 minutes of meandering and then go, oh shit, we forgot to do the intro.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
I shoved the knife in and I twisted it.
Hey, sometimes we don't even remember. We'll get to the end of the episode, finish the recording, and then we're like, oh, we didn't ever do the intro.
The best shows are the ones where the people on it don't treat it like it's a show. They're just a couple people hanging out having fun, and that's how your show comes off. Not to suck y'all's dicks too much, but there's another show I listen to called Fuckface, an enormously popular show put out by Rooster Teeth, and they a lot of times they forget to do the intro or the outro entirely, and their producer always yells at them about it. So hey, if the format ain't broke, why fix it? Lean into it. Clay, you've been silent. I see that there's probably no oxygen on the moon. Did you got your
moon
what do you call those? What do you call those nose things for oxygen that they use in hospitals?
I do not.
Oh, there he is.
An oxygen tube.
Oh, you know what? Don't turn around. I bet he's got a fin. He's one of them.
Yeah, he's one of the shark hybrids.
Gills right here on his clavicle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Somehow those gills allow them to pull oxygen from the no air on the moon, but whatever.
Science.
Somehow, yeah.
Shark science at its best.
So our patrons voted on this movie called Shark Side of the Moon, which, first of all, Klayshen, thank you for bringing it to my attention, the existence of this movie. Never before has a movie gone on our, quote-unquote, to-watch list and then immediately be catapulted up to the top of the things we're going to watch in the season. Part of that's due in fact that I'm not, me and Jazmin aren't the ones coming up with the schedule anymore, and our patrons are like, that sounds cool, Sharks on the Moon, let's go. So
I mean, I agree, it sounded cool, and when we watched the trailer, I was already sold. After watching Shark Huntress, which was good, because we're
no
movie friendly.
I mean, yes.
We're movie friendly.
Hashtag positivity podcast. Thank you, Lord and Savior Chris Logan.
We had voted them on the bottom of our list, even though they're great. It was great to see. this movie.
Before we get too deep into Shark Side of the Moon, Jazmin, last episode we forgot to give a Jonathan Pienser award to the person that we thought deserved the
Don't make me
MVP
do
position of Shark Hunters. So real quick, who won our Jonathan Pienser award? I'll tell you who got mine.
Okay, I'm listening.
The person that got mine is just going to be the main character, Katrina Gray, for a lack of anybody else. Nobody. No, wait. I take it back. I'm sorry, Katrina Gray. I take it back. But the tech girl gets it.
Okay, if I had to vote main cast, I would say that as well. I'd agree. But at the same time, I someone who really sold me was that one guy that got his leg bit off in the sand and he was dead.
Was it Eve Serda? Serda? It is Eve Serda. Congratulations for winning your Jonathan Pienser award.
Did you hear what I said?
Something about a guy getting his penis, or I don't know.
No, his leg. The guy on the beach who was dead, whose leg was buried in the sand. He did such a good job playing dead.
I guess. I'm giving it to Eve Serda. But speaking of Jonathan Pienser, we got to do the same thing for this movie, Shark Side of the Moon. So Shark Side of the Moon is a movie that starts off, we get a nice Cold War sequence of the Russians at their top secret facility. Apparently there's an electric fence that keeps whatever the secret project is at bay, which happens to
shark hybrids,
which happens to take place right next to their space shuttle launching platform. I don't know why you'd keep those two projects so close together, especially the size of the rocket that they use to like shoot off with. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when a space shuttle takes off, isn't like everybody backed off for miles away, like because the jet fire and stuff like that just rolls out and leaves smoke and fire everywhere, like that.
Back then, especially because that shit exploded probably a lot.
Like that takeoff spot was literally in the parking lot of the Shark Hybrid experiment facility.
I understand they had to bridge the gap. They had to bridge the gap on how the Shark Hybrids were created and how they ended up in space. So that was that whole part.
Let's pay
prime real estate in the USSR. I mean, it was expensive.
It's a huge country. Look, it was communism. Everybody owned anything. They could have done it anywhere. But look here. Let's play fix the movie. I know how to fix this. You ignore the whole space shuttle thing, and you have your shark hybrids. Blah da da da. And then when they escape, they hit the eject button on the project, which is to shoot them into space where they would die. And the whole facility comes up like a rocket, rather like as a self-destruct button. Only instead of self-destruct, it just shoots them into space for them to die. However, the coordinates were off, and instead of like going into the sun or whatever, they land on the moon.
You want the whole facility to go up in space? Like
yeah, why not?
Boy from Austin Powers.
Look, if we're getting wacky, let's just lean into it.
I was not going to be
wacky. That looks like a giant.
Yeah,
I was going to say just make the research facility on the moon like a secret.
The research facility could be like this big compared to like the rest of the rocket, which is a giant shark itself. Like, oh dang it, we were supposed to use that on the Americans, but now we've had to. Because there you go. That's the purpose of the experiment. You were going to shoot the shark hybrids into the heart of America so they could run rampant, but instead you shot it into space by accident. But
somebody would get fired for that.
So the Russians,
I have an alternate ending for this movie. I have an alternate ending.
Well, remember that when we get to it. But so the Russians have this hybrid shark program. I'm assuming they're trying to create super soldiers during the Cold War. And of course, they get through the electric fence. Sure.
Because the guys, remember there was a bucket or something, and the guy accidentally kicked it or something, and it made one of the lasers go astray.
Yeah,
certainly one of the safest facilities with safe work practices. Like no way they would have redundant systems in place to prevent the escape of your monster shark species that you've sunk so much money and time and effort into. But anyway, they escape.
Like extra lasers or a 6-foot high wall.
No, it's literally just an electric fence over top of a container of water, a large vat of water is what it is. But the sharks escape. They chase our two Russian scientists to the space shuttle, one of the people dies on the way there. And the sharks are, I guess, all of the sharks are in the space
I
shuttle.
will point out he didn't have to die.
He
Right.
did not.
He
Wait,
did
no,
not.
the flare gun. We gotta bring up the flare gun.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm setting up the movie. The other scientist completes the launch and launches himself into space, where him and these shark hybrids end up on the moon, and thus we get the credits, Shark Side of the Moon. So, by all means, take it away. Anything anybody wants to say at this point.
He did not have to die.
He didn't have to die, one. And two, he was like, I'll buy you time. And then he picks up a flare gun and he shoots the flare gun and it just goes past all of the shark hybrids. It doesn't hit them and they just look. And that was it. Like, it seemed like he was gonna do some like big superhero type situation, and he really did it because he did that, and then he sat down and then he smoked a cigarette and just waited to die.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you distracted them for a good 30 seconds with that flare. That was your distraction.
At least hit one of them. You know what I mean? If you're gonna aim, at least aim at the enemy.
I guess.
It was a poorly done distraction.
I also say, like, there's something I noticed when he exits the cockpit. He has to go down a ladder and then turn around, and that's where like all the sharks were, right? He shoots the flare gun and then he sits down at the bottom of the ladder, and then we see the blood spray back on like all the way up the ladder and on top, like you see it on the glass. But right prior to that, when he's like, I'm gonna go back by his time, the sharks were at the door like clanging with their corny ass CGI hands. Did you notice that their CGI models, they didn't have a lot of fidelity? Like the hands were very much like solid place, like when they'd be like,
they had mittens.
Yeah, they had mittens, exactly. So like it'd be like very, very funny and goofy. But I will say,
surprised we didn't see some T-posing sharks flying around.
Credit where credit's due, though. Like, as far as like shark B movies go, this movie had a ton of like CGI backdrops and shark people hybrids. So I full marks for me.
Yeah,
they put a lot
enjoyed
into the cinematography.
Yeah, I do want to point out that one of the directors of this film is a man named Glenn Campbell, and he actually did the visual effects for Tron and Spaceballs.
Oh, there you go.
So
carrying that experience forward.
Yeah, this movie was made in like last year, by the way.
This movie takes after this point when we get to the credits the sequence there at the title sequence. Excuse me. We're on we see our American protagonists on a much. Did they ever specify what year it was? Because like the spaceship was very futuristic looking, and they broke the atmosphere and got to the moon like that.
I don't
And
remember.
the rest of the movie and up until the very end takes place on the moon, and you're like, wow, they really did put a lot into this movie until you see like one of the protagonists' like spears that they fashioned disappear into the green screen behind them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this whole movie took place in a warehouse on a green screen. Because I didn't realize it was a green screen, but it makes sense.
Well, let's be real though. That only happened like once. Like I
saw it 3 times.
See, there was so much going on with this movie that I didn't even catch it. I can't even be mad that it was there.
I didn't say anything until the second time because the first time I saw it and didn't quite register in my head what it was. The second time is when I flipped out and pointed it out, and then I saw it a third time later in the movie.
It would have happened. Let's see here. Cold War took place in what, 1980?
80s.
80s. So this would have happened roughly 20. This would have happened in like 2020.
Did it say how many years elapsed?
Yeah, because he said that guy said he'd been on the moon for about 40 years.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So Cold War was 80, and so it'd have been about.
So not that much time has passed, and we've suddenly got like these like crazy spacefaring vehicles.
Yeah.
The launch and stuff look good though. Them actually going to space.
It
also taco truck.
Fine, I guess if they've got simulated gravity on their little shuttle, I guess it works. They didn't seem very put off by like the launch sequence, you know. The taco truck, Clay. You a good point.
I completely forgot about that.
I did too. One of the American crew members is in kind of distress. physical distress, and a guy's like, "Oh, let me check you out." And he points a gun at her head, like a medical type looking gun at her head for some reason.
It was a thermometer.
Yeah, and then like the captain's like, "Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have had the taco truck right before launch." Like,
who would do that in their right mind?
who
Yeah,
would let them do that? Like,
Yeah, I'm
Not
pretty sure
hard.
before you go to space, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to eat only like sterile food.
I'm sure
That is
NASA or whoever has a plan. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Like
on
a
a
meal
diet.
plan.
Yeah, you're on a meal like because you also have to be like physically fit enough
Oh
for
yeah.
and prepared.
You're
I'm
not.
sure
You're
that's
not.
part of
You're
the
not.
equation.
You're not stopping at Taco. You're not stopping at Taco Bell.
At a taco
on your-
truck. Not even
Yeah,
Taco Bell, a taco truck.
Yeah. There's they're not just some random taco truck parked on in the parking lot of NASA. Come get your astronaut special, everybody.
So she
Two
had to
big
go take a
burritos.
she had to go take a shit. and they had
Missed
to
the
call
launch.
the
backup.
the alternate, the backup, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Not
Like,
this guy.
not this guy." We never get an explanation for why they have
He
an attitude
wasn't-
towards him.
He wasn't that bad, honestly. Like
He
they
really wasn't.
hyped him up like he was gonna be this like super douche canoe character, and like
or
he was
the quote unquote bad boy of
Yeah.
astronaut.
or like the savior of the movie. He just kind of just
Yeah.
dance around.
Also, I just looked it up. Astronauts can eat their favorite foods before they go to space because they won't be able to eat them while they're
Okay.
in space.
Well, there you
So
go.
you would I'm just saying, as an IBS girly myself, you would not catch me dead consuming dairy or any type of spicy food. Like I'm eating white rice, bread, and mashed potatoes before I go to space.
I'm gonna eat what I want, but I'm not eating it from a taco truck. That's for sure. If I want tacos, I'm gonna trust NASA to order me the best tacos
Someone
money
said-
can buy.
The internet says the first meal astronauts eat before venturing into space is traditionally a breakfast of steak and eggs. It's one of
Wow.
NASA's
Sure.
many food traditions.
Sure.
I'm down for that.
I think okay, let's go around the room here. I want to hear what your quote unquote like last meal before space is gonna be. If y'all want to think about it, I'll go first. I think I'm gonna go with my my mom's French toast with a side of bacon and sausage links, and a side helping of my mom's tater tot casserole. I think that's what I'm going.
Good.
Stir-fried rice
Basic,
and mac and cheese.
basic ass bitch.
Those are my two favorite foods. If I'm not gonna have them for a really long time, I'm gonna have them before I go.
I feel like you can get, well, maybe you can't get rice in space because they probably gets into the components. I know that's something they account for in zero G.
Stir-fried rice with gochujang and like all the fixing.
I feel like you could do go so much bigger than just those two items.
So
They're my favorite foods.
Okay,
So
all right.
for me, it would be okay. Question: Who here has seen the movie Twister?
I have, but it's been
I know
a while.
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay,
Oh,
food.
I don't.
The steak and egg scene from Twister, plus ham and red eye gravy, homemade biscuits,
Ooh.
blackberry preserves.
Biscuits and gravy would be a great one.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know if
Spam.
you, Vinny, being your big city self over there in the western lands, are totally familiar with the way West Virginians and East Coast / Southerners get down with biscuits and gravy, but it's something to behold.
Oh, I am aware. I mean, I was raised in like the southern Midwest, so I get how it operates. I also spent like 6 months on the East Coast, and I
know
I'm on some biscuits and gravy at least twice a week.
I was
good.
just teasing you, Vinny. What food would you go for, Vin?
Okay, I know I just said I wouldn't be caught dead eating dairy.
a full gallon of milk.
If there was no repercussions,
bag of shredded cheese.
There's no repercussion if they had like hospital grade like IBS stuff to just keep my internal organs from like disintegrating and dying. I'm gonna have the biggest Greek salad of my life because delicious. Um, and then probably some cheese-filled tortellini with a basil pesto on it.
So fancy.
Fancy
Um,
ass.
an entire loaf of sourdough bread,
Bread.
and probably a Red Bull because
A Red
I'm
Bull.
addicted. Yeah.
I didn't
Some
specify
gummies, some
drink.
weed gummies.
You know
didn't
what?
specify a drink either.
Yeah, okay. So for my drink, it's going to be a Mountain Dew energy drink.
Oh, those are good.
Those are really good.
Mine would just
And,
be a normal Mountain Dew.
I would have the energy drink, but I also want like a full like movie theater large size ice cold Sprite.
You had me until you said Sprite.
And
Yeah.
weed gummies.
Mine would have to be a.
I want to trip balls in space.
Mine would have to be a red. Mine would have to be a red Mountain Dew Game Fuel.
Okay.
And
West Virginians and our Mountain Dew. You
Yeah,
can't get between us and our Mountain Dew.
It says something
and
about where we're from.
and probably a hornful of mead.
That'd be good.
Mm.
I could go for a beer too. A nice yummy beer.
Speaking of biscuits and gravy, though,
you know what?
Sarah does not like biscuits and gravy. She loves biscuits. She hates our gravy.
Oh, that's so sad. You took her to Tutors, right?
I took her to I did not take her to Tutors.
Oh, you got to take her to Tutors.
I warned you to take her to Tutors and not the other place, but you didn't listen to me.
I took her to Susie's.
Susie's
make biscuits and gravy at home.
Yeah, with the Tutors mix. It's really easy.
Or just
the movie
from scratch. The movie.
What a great idea. Let's all say that before the end of the year we make our final flight before you die meal and just pig out on it. I'm totally down for this idea.
I will do it. That's such a gross combination of stuff, but I'll do it.
But like,
I'll buy some Lactaid pills first.
Just imagine though, like when the spread's in front of you and you haven't dug in yet, and just how satisfying that would be to see your favorite items in London.
Are we going to do this on stream? This is going to be like a
No,
filming it?
No, that'd be terrible. Nobody wants to like listen to an audio podcast going.
I mean, there are people who like that.
Is this going to be like a mukbang video?
Maybe if you and Vinny do it, like nobody wants to hear me or Clay smack our gums at food.
I mean, me and Vinny's done it.
Shark
Halloween candy episode.
Shark Side of the Moon.
Shark Side of the Moon.
Shark Side of the Moon. So everyone's on the moon now, and the shuttle is in trouble as it's trying to get to the moon. Something's causing interference with its systems. The shuttle crashes.
We do need to go over the cast real quick.
Okay,
the crew
let me get to a stopping point here. So the shuttle crashes on the moon here. Later we find out it was the sharks somehow have some sort of technology to do something. They also somehow detected the spaceship, but neither here nor there. And the crew is forced to split up. A few of them decide to go to a nearby rover to scavenge it for parts. A couple of them stay behind to work on the repairs of the shuttle. And Jazmin, if you have them, you can go ahead and talk about said crew now.
Okay, so we got cat. Thanks. For those of you who are watching the YouTube video, Kiki, or Spotify, Kiki is here. And mad at me now. But we have Commander Nicole Tress, who's played by
stand-up comedian
Maxie Wittrake. Then we have the guy that nobody likes, Michael Kelly, who was played by Michael Marcel. So he got to play Michael as himself.
I want to say real quick, I want to point out that man, #positivity podcast, that man was my least favorite character on the movie. He had one of the biggest parts in the whole movie, and his acting the entire time was just like a look of solemn bewilderment just the whole time, like.
And then we had Josie, who's played by Lydia Hunter. She was the redhead that was in the movie, who was one of the people that worked on the ship. Ellie Waters, who was played by Lindsay Wilson. She was the second lady in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Tom, who was played by Reginald Stalling. And then I believe there was an Alexei, who was played by Sandy Todorovic. And Henry, Henry actually was their engineer who got kidnapped. And he was played by Constantine. Oh, God.
Constantine?
Constantine.
No.
Konstantin.
Constantine.
Okay. Pod Prugen. That's his name.
Great name. I like it.
And then for young Sergei, we got Roman. I'm not even going to pronounce that because it's Russian.
Okay.
And the older Sergei that we meet soon is played by Ego Mik.
So they got two different actors to portray the same character. That's neat. I'm just kind of surprised.
Remember, 40 years had passed, so...
Yeah, but, like, did we really wonder? Like, we're accepting that sharks are in space and there's a Russian guy with no spacesuit up there. Like, are we really going to question whether or not this man aged 40 years in space? Maybe that's really great for, like, the bags under your eyes and your skin and stuff. We don't know.
And then...
Not having oxygen...
Send me to the moon.
Yeah, not having oxygen keeps your body from decaying, I'm sure.
Do you want me to go ahead and introduce the other characters, or do you want me to wait?
Let's just wait a second. So 3 of the crew, including the captain and the bad boy and their engineer, go to the lunar rover to scavenge it for parts. They do find it. However, they are beset upon by shark hybrids. The engineer is eaten. I'm sorry, 4 of them went, including Henry. One of them was eaten really quickly. Henry was taken by the sharks, and the rest of them were fought off by our Russian hero and his adoptive stepdaughter. And they're like, don't go for him. It's a trap. They took him for a reason. And then they don't call your ship because they can detect the radio waves, and they'll be able to hear everything you say, and they'll know exactly where the ship is, because the sharks don't know where the ship is at this point. Even though they could detect it in the void of space and cause it to crash, they have no idea where it crashed on the moon. So we have our commander, and we have our bad boy spaceman, and we have the Russian scientist. I know the engineer guy is dead.
No, that's Owen Watson. He was not the engineer guy. The engineer was the guy who lost his leg later on in the movie.
Okay, Henry.
Henry was the
But he's not with them at this point. He got kidnapped, like I just said. So we have the main 4 here of our movie: the commander, bad boy astronaut guy, the Russian scientist, and the Russian scientist's adoptive daughter, who is revealed very quickly to be a half shark. Everyone's in spacesuits except for the Russian scientist. He's got a little nose tube delivering oxygen, and he's got no spacesuit, so he's just bare skin out there on the moon. Also, his stepdaughter, she's got nothing on other than just like a skin-tight outfit.
Sergei and the girl, whose name is Akula, who's played by
Akula
Tanya Fox, they basically saved the rest of the crew from the sharks, minus the Henry getting kidnapped.
Right. And they decide to mount an offensive to sneak into the shark hybrids civilization that they've built on the moon in order to rescue Henry. Meanwhile, back at our ship, just to wrap this part up real quick, the two of the 4 people left behind decide to go after them, to look for them. They've been gone too long, and they themselves get eaten pretty quickly. It should be of note that they did the classic thing that a lot of sharks movies do, where someone's being eaten, but they only show the human being eaten and not the shark behind them eating them. So she was just like, which is how I look on a Friday night usually.
Cute.
In bed.
Which you said in front of your mother.
Yeah, that's fine. They break into our shark society, and we realize that they're capable of asexual reproduction, and they just have tons of shark babies, like little tiny shark babies and eggs, and they want to get back. They want to steal the USA ship to get back to Earth so that they can then conquer the motherland. And the sharks, fully fluent in English, Russian, and etc.
Only one of them know English.
Well, it's implied that they at least understand because she does give orders to the rest of them, including Scar, which is her like lead captain shark.
And so we
but
have
nobody
Zarina.
talks out loud. It doesn't say that they couldn't talk, but maybe they just didn't talk for whatever reason.
Well, because at one point they're talking together. They're talking, and the Russian dude says, "Don't worry, they don't know any English."
So that when we get introduced to some of the is basically two main shark ladies in this. Mind you, they give the outfits on some of these sharks, I'll tell you. We have Zarina, who was like the commander who wanted to like rule Earth and everybody in it, who was the main lady, and his sister to Akula. And then we have Scar, who was voiced by Yelena.
Scar didn't talk though? It didn't seem like she just other than growls or whatever.
I don't remember if she talked, but that's who did the voice for that. So we have Zarina and Scar, who are the main shark ladies, and they start torturing Henry, the engineer, to tell him where the spaceship is. He gets his leg bit off in the process, and he ends up telling them exactly where the shuttle is.
So I do want to point out a couple of our new characters here. You have the queen of the shark hybrids. What was her name again?
Zarina.
Fully voice acted, and they synced the shark mouth to talk with the.
They gave him abs, and like one of them had a bra top.
Scar was a gray white shark with a full. I don't want to say coconut bra, but it was just a brown leather bra covering her shame. Interesting. Just I don't know. I would love to meet the person that is into that.
And we already said this while we were watching the movie, but
I take it back. I don't want to meet him.
They gave Zarina a butt, and every single time she moved, it would jiggle, and it's like you couldn't not look at it.
They did have jiggle physics.
Yeah, they
gave Zarina jiggle physics.
At this point, all the characters of our movie have been introduced. It's that time where we have to award our Jonathan Pincer Award to somebody that we think is the most deserving, the person whose performance put this movie on their back, as it were. So everybody think about that for a second, and I will just say my winner of the Jonathan Pincer Award is gonna go to. I'm gonna give mine to Tanya Fox for her portrayal as Akula. Akula. I'm gonna give it to her. She was tasked with the most, I think, emotional range, and then the script also gave her the most problems, as it were, as she's a shark hybrid who looks mostly human, and throughout the movie she's tempted by her quote-unquote sister Zarina to defect back to shark kind, because it turns out it's the shark's whole deal. Like, they abandoned her near the Russian spacecraft so the Russian guy would teach her how to fly the ship. A bunch of weird convoluted stuff that only a shark hybrid could truly appreciate the grand mastery of. Jazmin, who are you giving your Jonathan Pincer Award to?
I'm gonna give it to Sergey.
That's fair. Any particular reason why?
No, I liked him. I just liked him.
I thought he was good too.
I think the whole dynamic between him and Akula, they did good.
Klayshen, Vin, this basically boils down to who do you think was the best actor or character on this movie?
Yeah, my vote was already gonna be for Akula anyways, and part of it has to do at the very end.
Yeah, what an ending. I can't wait to
talk about that soon.
Yeah, that's why I didn't specify too much.
That's a hard one. Like, actor-wise, just as a great actor, you'd have to go to Akula. But just for the character, it'd have to be for the engineer.
Henry,
because of the fucking shooting out of the fucking spaceport with the fucking map gas torch.
Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit here. Zarina is tempting Akula with joining them back. Also, our bad boy astronaut man wants to kill all the eggs while they're there to prevent the shark hybrid takeover of Earth from even able
do
enough to
that.
begin.
They
He does it a
do
little
that.
bit, but then
But
he's
we
like,
don't
"It's a
even-
drop in the bucket." But they don't really show it.
They don't really like all of us. I would have to say we didn't even realize.
I didn't realize it happened until Akula started freaking out and was like, "Those were babies, children," you know.
Yeah.
But the sharks eventually they do. I mean, they bite off Henry's leg, and then they cauterize the wound. Somehow they have these torches in space where there's no air. But regardless, he gives up the location of the ship. The sharks, huh? Okay, fantastic. The sharks manage to take over the ship, despite resistance from the people left on it, who also get eaten. The doors are broken, and eventually our heroes are
they have a time restraint.
Yeah, they have to fix the doors and one rescue their people and try to find a way to get the sharks off the ship. Ultimately, what ends up happening is they end up just
abandoning
ship. They're like, oh, wait a minute, Sergey, we can just take your ship, even though the whole movie he's like, well, you can't fly my ship. We don't have fuel. We don't have this. We don't have that.
And the navigation was one of the main things.
And
so they did get the navigation, though.
They're like, fuck it, we can do it anyway. So they abandoned ship.
They got the navigation. They made it a big thing. One of the leftover guys got killed for getting the navigation, and
Zarina falls from a great height from the ship, just like everybody else, and somehow dies as a result of that, even though there's no gravity on the moon. Yeah, and the sharks are mad. Well, oh, you're right. It seems like she's dead, and they run away, and she does get back up. Ultimately, we our heroes, they get back to Earth.
Nope, hold on. You skipped.
I know. Jazmin, this program can't go on for 2 hours. You understand that I have to keep it down for the sake of time. Like, we still have a lot of stuff to go through.
Sergey dies because he takes one of the ships, and you literally forgot this. Sergey gets on his ship and uses it as a distraction and blows up the whole compound for the shark people, and with apparently an active volcano. And the way that the people survive, they get thrown into a whale shark hybrid person with a raft, and the whale shark gets thrown into space, and then launches all the way into the ocean in Earth's stratosphere or whatever it is, and then boom, they pop up and they're there. You missed the whole whale shark thing.
I forgot about the whale sharkipede. That thing was cool. They didn't
even bother taking the ship. They're like, fuck the ship. Who needs a spaceship to get back to Earth? No,
we're gonna use a whale shark.
We were all thinking they were gonna die. And then it hit me because we've seen another movie where someone got swallowed by a shark and then ended up living inside that shark and breaking out. And I was just like...
That was Sharknado.
Yeah. It was a very Sharknado reference.
Wasn't it Tara Reid who got out?
Something along those lines. Like, the main character... Well, a bunch of people, I thought, didn't he, like, chainsaw a bunch of sharks open? And he pulled, like, 3 people out of the same shark in one of the movies. Yeah. But you're right. There was whale sharkipede, which was hilarious that they made a whale shark, gave it a bunch of little tiny legs, and then they also gave it like carnivore type teeth, even though they eat like plankton.
Dude, they made. I'll give it props. This movie made a mako shark. They made what is that?
A great white,
a goblin shark, a great white.
I assume that's a goblin shark. I don't know what else it could be. But
I think Zarina was a mako.
They did a real missed opportunity for an alien reference because goblin sharks, their mouths look like that, like pulled in because they actually shoot out and they go like they got descended jaws, like a turtle's head. Like they shoot out with their jaws, grab something and pull it back in. It's really horrifying.
The most ridiculous one was the whale shark, so I really needed to put that in there.
Right.
It was
so they get back to Earth. our bad boy astronaut, our commander, and Akula.
Luna.
And Akula turns out she was pregnant the whole time, gives birth to a baby shark right then and there.
Multiple baby
Oh,
sharks.
ton.
And-
50 baby sharks.
And then she yells, "My babies!" and jumps into the ocean. And the commander's like, "Where did she say we're fucked? Or we're so screwed or something like
I
that?"
think she said we're so. I think she said we're so fucked.
Yeah, something along those lines. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, the babies thing, that's what really got me. Really sent me over the
My
edge.
babies! What a fugue state that movie put me in towards the end. But we need to rank it on our list of our shark movie tier list, the undisputed list that can never be disputed, no matter what.
But first, we got to go over what everyone else thinks because our rating is more important. So we have to go through that too.
Yeah, we're going to.
You want to do ours first?
Well, I'm gonna read the bottom of the list, and I'm gonna read the top of the list, and then we're gonna rate this movie, and then we're gonna see where it places on that list. So at number 29, we at the bottom of the barrel, we have Shark Huntress. Number 28, Virus Shark. Number 27, Ice Sharks. Number 26, Sharknado: The Fourth Awakens, and number 25, Jurassic Shark. All the way up at the top, number 5, Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf. Number 4, Six-Headed Shark Attack. Number 3, 47 Meters Down Uncaged. Number 2, Jaws. And number 1, 47 Meters Down. So, Jazmin, we'll start with you. For the sake of moving this along, you got cheesiness, brutality, and eye roll. How did this movie fare for you?
There wasn't a whole lot of... There was some brutality, but it wasn't a lot. So,
It was comic brutality, if anything. Like, the attacks were vicious and there was a lot of blood spray, but I would say it wasn't so realistic to make you cringe.
I think there was one part where it was kind of realistic, but I don't remember what it was, to be honest.
Probably where they ripped his leg off?
No, I think there was another scene, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'll give it a... For blood gore factor, I'll give it like a 3 out of 10 because there really wasn't like a lot of blood and gore.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese factor, this movie was pretty cheesy, but like good cheesy. So I'm gonna give it like an 8 out of 10, which is good. And what was the last one?
Eye roll.
Eye roll meter. I didn't eye roll at all. I just enjoyed the movie.
I didn't eye roll either. I also enjoyed the movie. I agree with your assessment on brutality. And I think for cheesy factor, I'm giving it a Gouda. Solid Gouda. Big old block of Gouda. Right up
That's
there on
my
the moon.
favorite cheese.
When the moon hits your eye, like a shark in the sky.
It's a Gouda.
Clay, how about you, bud?
This
is very scientific.
I would have to say for brutality, I'm gonna go up a little bit higher on brutality just because of the blood sprays. Because there was a few amount of blood sprays. I'm gonna go up to a 4 on the blood spray, just because when they got released at the very beginning, there was a lot of people getting chopped.
Don't forget, Henry blew up a bunch of sharks too.
Yeah. Eye roll. I'm gonna give about a 2. Just because the ending, like
2 out of 3.
Oh yeah, the ending was very eye roll.
My babies. I laughed at that. I didn't eye roll my eyes. I just laughed at it.
It's a good eye roll, but it was still an eye roll. And then
my babies.
I'm gonna have to go with Bret. It's 100% a wheel of cheese. So 10 out of 10 on the cheesy meter.
Is that the name of this episode? My Shark Babies on the Moon.
My babies.
Vinny, what do you think?
Brutality, probably like a 4. Cheesiness, a 9 in a good way. I really enjoyed it. And the eye roll, honestly, like a 1. Maybe. I don't even think. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. It's a 0. I really liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
it didn't try too hard. Like, they knew what they were doing.
So
They weren't a
where
bad movie trying to be like super good.
so
they just
where
didn't
on this
deliver.
list of shark movies do you feel like we should place this?
Upper half
On?
in the upper half of the list, but like above 15. So probably I'm gonna say like the new 12.
New 12. I honestly was looking at around that range as well. I was looking anywhere between 10 and 12 as well. Because I think it's
I really liked Sharknado 6 though, so I wouldn't personally replace this as 10. So maybe like 11 would
I
be like the highest I would go.
I would be fine with that because I think I enjoyed this movie more than the first Sharktopus movie. And definitely more than Shark Night 3D. Jazmin, Clay, you want to chime in?
I agree with that. I would definitely agree putting it behind Sharknado,
Okay.
in front of Sharktopus. To be honest with you, I would almost put it in front of Sharknado, but
What number is Sharknado?
10.
If you check the chat,
the
Jazmin,
sixth
the
one.
full list is there.
I was looking on my phone and I was trying to find it. I had already thought that it was going to be my top 10. So without even looking at the list, I was saying top 10.
So then the argument, well, then we're all pretty much in the same area. Do we like, so Vinny and me don't necessarily like it more than Sharknado 6, It's About Time, and you and Clay, Jazmin,
I like it more than
think-
Ouija Shark, and that says something.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I kind of like it more than Ouija Shark as well. I don't like it more than House Shark. That's the best movie on this list. It's number one in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. I'll get it. I'll get it next time. I have a signed movie poster for House Shark framed
Nice.
with the cast and crew. It's pretty sweet.
So where do we want to put it? Number 10, or do we want to put it at number 9?
I say we let the dice decide.
Okay.
Or we can let the actual hosts of the show decide.
No. Oh yeah, sure. Clay and then there's still a stalemate because it's 1-1. So I think we should just flip a coin.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper,
Oh,
scissors.
even better. I like that. I like that.
Okay. Wait, are we doing rock, paper, scissors and then shoot?
Yeah.
Okay. 2
Yeah,
out of
figure
3
out
or
the
just
rule.
1?
2 out of 3.
Okay.
4 out of 6.
What?
Yeah, nothing. 2 out of 3.
Okay.
I'm just being a pain in
Double
the
it and
ass.
pass it to the next person.
Oh.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All
Okay,
right.
that
Double
didn't work.
scissors. Double scissors. Round 2.
I feel like there's such a delay. This is
Here,
hard.
okay.
A little
Ready?
bit.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot!
That was worse, but the double paper.
Wait, we're just gonna keep getting the same thing. Maybe we should just flip a coin.
All right, no. We're gonna keep going here, but
We're
now
doing
it.
you guys tied twice, so whoever wins the next one wins.
Oh fuck, there's so much pressure. Okay. Somebody gonna count, or am I doing this?
Brett can do it. Brett, go ahead. I did it last time.
Rock paper scissors shoot.
But
All right, fine. 3, 2, 1. Rock paper scissors shoot. Double scissors. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Rock paper scissors shoot. Double scissors again. Okay, that's 4 ties in a row. 3, 2, 1. Rock paper scissors shoot. Vinny's the winner!
yay!
All right,
Stubborn.
We're putting Shark Side of the Moon underneath Sharknado 6, It's About Time, and above Sharktopus to make this the new number 11. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
Sorry, Jazmin.
No, it's okay. The
I'm the
actual
one who felt
host
Jazmin.
has spoken.
Shark Side of the Moon. Congratulations, Shark Side of the Moon. You are the new number 11, and just for funsies, I'll round out that top 11 there. Shark Side of the Moon. Number 10, Sharknado 6, It's About Time. Number 9, Ouija Shark. Number 8, House Shark. Number 7, The Reef. Number 6, Shark Attack circa 1999. Number 5, Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf. Number 4, Six-Headed Shark Attack. Number 3, 47 meters down in cage. Number 2, Jaws. Number 1, 47 meters down.
Woo. Congratulations.
Woo. Congratulations.
This was a good movie. It came out in just last year, and it does definitely show. I feel like it's up there like with the Sharknado series. If they made more of these movies, I probably would watch a second one.
Mm.
So
I
Glenn
agree.
Campbell, Tammy Klein, get to it. Make another one. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want me to read the I know our rating is the most important rating, but do you want me to read the ratings of everybody else?
Sure.
So I disagree with IMDb. They gave him a 2.9 out of 10.
Yeah, I disagree wholeheartedly.
But Rotten Tomatoes gave him 75%. Is that good? I can't remember if the more percentage, the better the movie. Or if the
Yeah.
lower...
Yes,
Yeah, no,
that's
the
correct.
higher percentage is better. Yeah.
So you go Rotten Tomatoes, and then Voices from the Balcony, which is like another rating show, I believe, gave them a 1.1 out of 5, which is incorrect. So
Which is incorrect.
So everyone believe our shark list. It's the correct tier list. So if you're listening, definitely watch this movie.
I agree.
I also concur.
Yeah,
I
I'm so glad. You can find this movie. It's an original from Tubi.
It's free.
TUBI, and we actually found some other movies from that platform that look like could be.
They look like
next on
something.
they look like they'll be next on our list.
They
Or
look
we
like
put on
something.
our watch list. What was that one that we saw right after that? Do you guys remember?
Because
Because it was
I
real
forget.
weird.
I
It
don't
was another
remember.
weird shark movie.
I don't recall.
Vinny knows what I'm talking about because it was really.
I mean, I know what you're talking about
Why-
too, but I don't remember the name.
did it have something to do with dinosaurs? Or am I tripping?
I don't remember. I'll be real. I just remember being like, "Wow, we really need to go on Tubi more often and look up these movies because this looks ridiculous."
Whatever it was definitely weird and attention grabbing.
And it was very well voted on by our patrons. So thank you very much, patrons, for voting on Shark Side of the Moon. If you would like to help determine what movie we watch next, check us out on patreon.com. And after the credits here, we will watch the trailer for the next movie that we will be watching next month.
Woo!
You can follow Vinny at ttv/VinnyT3. She's also that on... Nope, she's not that on Instagram. What is it on Instagram?
No, it is Vinnie T3.
Oh, it is Vinny T3. Sorry.
TikTok, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I should probably just change everything to the same.
Our official TikTok representative, being the only one of us that has it.
I found it. It's Sharkman.
Sharkman.
TTV/Meteor Doll, TTV/Klayshen. Also, check out Vinnie and Clay on the Watchers of the Stuff, on a brief hiatus as of this recording, but coming back to a podcast headphone near you very soon. Can't wait. Clay, do you got any final thoughts to leave with us?
No. The Watchers of the Stuff may be coming out of the hiatus with a different voice in the co-host seat until after Vinny gets her wedding and shit together.
Try to get my shit together after I get my life together, you know?
But until then,
Totally fair.
I've been engaged for like coming on 2 years now. You know, so you do you. You take your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just canceled all my stuff.
Vinny, parting thoughts?
No, I mean I really enjoyed the movie as always. I'm thrilled to be here.
Aww.
One of my favorites. And yeah.
It is your show.
It was oh yeah, so I guess
yeah, it is technically our show, Vinny.
Yeah.
We technically have 2 podcasts now, apparently.
Yeah. So as always, thanks for putting in the hard work, crew. The boss appreciates you.
Yes, the bosses appreciate you.
Jazmin, do you have anything you'd like to say before we wrap it up with a bow?
No, thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you guys for picking this movie. It was a very good movie. I am very glad that I watched it. I recommend you watch it if you did not watch it with us, and tune in for the next one.
Yep, follow us on Instagram Instapoddog, Twitter, Jaws_show. We will announce the date of that movie, whose trailer we're going to watch here shortly. So, and don't forget to smile, you son of a bitch. That might be the best we've ever done at that.
I think so.
Alrighty, we are back with the movie trailer. Let's check this bad lad out. Or bad lady. Sony Pictures. Columbia. I don't quite remember the war drums.
For those of you listening, this is the Shallows trailer.
Blake Lively on a rock. What's not to like so far? That's 1 degree from Ryan Reynolds.
As if Blake Lively isn't bay enough.
I know. That's very true. This summer. What was once in the deep is now in the shallows.
Dun dun dun.
That's a big ass shark. The
The
shallows.
Shallows.
So the trailer doesn't show a lot. It shows, Blake Lively on a rock, kind of beaten up looking, bleeding a little bit, like all scuffed up, and we
This is
see
one
just
of
a
the
big
newer
shark. This is a AAA budget movie right here with a legit movie star as the lead. I've seen this movie before, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. And I will say that we do have extra copies of this to give away. So if you want a chance at winning a copy of The Shallows, watch it with us on our Discord.
Yeah.
And this one's going to also feature Vinny. So Vinny, welcome back again to your own show.
Woo!
Bye everybody.
All
Bye.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Actually, wait just a second.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Okay.
Okay.
Stay.
Pokemon After Dark ride, Jawsbreakers, Let's Die, and watch stuff. If you liked it, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/poddog or visit the link tree in the description for our Discord, Twitch handle, and socials. Poddog Productions. We had to keep track of all this stuff somehow. By the way, I saw this cool bar the other day. Want to go out? I don't know who that guy is, but he sounds handsome.